Alright guys, so as you are probably aware by now, Dime Normal has been one of the most dominant defenses throughout really the course of the year, and the reason is because it's got arguably the best coverage defense in Madden. A lot of people can sit in this defense the entire game and just adjust to what your opponent is doing. This has been a defense that really has had no true pressure, but was still able to not only win a tournament, but win tons of money on Gamer Saloon and other websites of that nature. Now, what we've done though is we've actually we're able to bring pressure, and I'm not talking outside pressure. We're able to get gap pressure directly up the middle with a couple different coverage shells. We have the ability to do it out of man, cover 2, and depending on your playbook, even a cover 3 defense that truly is going to add a whole nother element to this scheme. So, just before we get into how to actually set it up, depth chart, all that, once again, we're going to show you a replay of how the pressure will look. It's going to sneak directly up the A-gap. This doesn't look like it should ever come in. However, it does due to the linebacker's blitzing angle on the left. You see that he pretty much just runs completely across the formation and just completely confuses the AI of the offensive line. This is a 5-man blitz, and it does not come in versus under center, so it is definitely a blitz that you're going to use periodically throughout the game. But if you are facing a pass-happy opponent or somebody that simply can't seem to beat your coverage defense at a dime, this is going to be just a completely other element that's going to force your opponent to now block people. Dime normal is tough to beat with 5 people out on routes as it is. Now that we're able to bring pressure, it's pretty much going to be ball game for a lot of your opponents. So, once again, as you see, the pressure does come right up the A-gap by the defensive tackle. And we'll get into the depth chart and setup now. So, the plays that we can use this out of are going to be, once again, this is dime normal, the depth chart. Your 2 defensive ends you want your fastest players at. Your defensive tackle on the left needs to be your best block shed guy. And then the D tackle on the right is going to be your speed guy. He's going to be that guy that comes through on the A-gap pressure. The person we will be using will be this left of screen defensive end on all of these plays. So now the plays that you're going to use are going to be MLB Loop 2, MLB Blitz, and then Foxfire Zone. Those are pretty much the 3 best ones to use. So we'll go ahead and we'll come out in MLB Blitz first. And as I mentioned already, this is a shotgun or pistol only defense. We'll come out 4 verticals once I find it. Alright. So your setup is going to be base align press coverage. You're then going to want to QB contain and shift your linebackers to the left. Now the thing that's unique about this is you'll see that even when you zone out this defensive end, the linebacker that we shift over to the left is not the guy that goes into a contain. It's actually going to be the defensive tackle, and that's going to be what confuses the AI. The final setup, though, is to re-blitz the defensive tackle on the right. And then you're going to want to stand in this A-gap over here, pretty much in this, right on top of the center, maybe slightly to the right. And you're going to want to hold down the left trigger. So this is a 5-man blitz. You see you have the corner blitzing on the right also, so if they try to do anything stupid like pinch their defensive line, the corner should come free. We go ahead and show it to you. That time, the corner did come free, as I mentioned. So we'll go ahead, we'll try it again. Come out in a different play, just slants flat. MLB blitz again. Show you just how quick this is to set up. I mean, we're done already. And then you just got to lurk over here. Now, in this case, because of the formation, the guy that I should be guarding, actually, no, I'm not. For whatever reason, they decided to double team the guy on the left. I have no idea why that happened. But anyways, there you go. Everybody's actually guarded now. We've re-blitzed the tackle. Going to hold right trigger, and screaming A-gap pressure out of dime. Something your opponent will not see coming for sure. Once again, we'll go to the instant replay, show you why it works. It works, and it's all keyed upon that middle linebacker that we shifted over to the left. He pretty much loops in, the center dumbs out because he sees him coming, and that's why it comes A-gap. So nice little blitz that we've got right here. That is at a man coverage. We'll now do the MLB loop 2. Now, MLB loop 2 is slightly different. And I say slightly because you got to make a different adjustment. You see that in this blitz, the corner is blitzing on the left. So we would need to re-blitz the corner on the right, and then zone out the corner on the left, and then re-blitz the defensive tackle. So you got to do pretty much 2 additional adjustments. However, this is a cover 2 shell, and since it's cover 2, we wanted to make sure we added it into the scheme. So there's that defensive tackle A-gap. I quick hiked that slightly so I could show you before the 2-minute warning. I'll go into a little bit more depth now. Once again, the play is MLB loop 2. You're going to base align press, shift the linebackers to the left, QB contain. Now once you do that, you need to re-blitz the corner on the right, zone out the corner on the left, re-blitz the defensive tackle on the right. It seems like a lot of steps, although it truly isn't once you get used to it. You can use the quick links to make the adjustments to the corners, which is what I do. That way you don't have to actually click on them. But once you start doing this and you start mixing in the coverage defense, your opponent's done for. I mean, it's truly, this is a formation that you can now run all game long. And if the opponent, for whatever reason, does make an adjustment to pick up the A-gap, the corner tends to come free on the right. So there's no true way to pick up both and also still be able to beat the coverage defense without just making crazy adjustments on offense. So once again, just to note on it, and I'll show you the cover 3 as well. The cover 3 is not in many playbooks, I don't believe, but it does work pretty much the same way. So you're going to base the line, shift linebackers left, QB contain, re-blitz the defensive tackle, and then lurk on the D-end on the left, and you want to lurk on him in this A-gap. So go ahead, lurk on the A-gap, hold left trigger, and A-gap pressure. Super screamer right up the middle. So that is the blitzing scheme out of dime. And I just wanted to note, or to show you one more thing that you can do out of this to really throw a wrench into your opponent's scheme. And if they start picking up on that, another thing that you can do that's really just going to annoy your opponent more so than anything else is run the corner roll 2. It is a play that pretty much, as soon as they start seeing the A-gap pressure, they're going to just start slide protecting. They're going to block somebody. They're going to slide protect the left. You know, they're going to try dumb hard to pick up the guys on the left. And with this play, it's a 4-man rush, and we're actually going to bring the pressure from the right. The only difference is we're not picking up this defensive lineman. You'll see right here that if you do pick him up, the pressure will not come in. So you just want to leave him on the line of scrimmage. This corner on the left should come flying in. What I do occasionally is I'll pick up this defensive end on the right, and I'll kind of just roam this direction. This just is another mimic to the coverage defense that I use. And we'll go ahead, show how it should work. You'll see that the corner will just never get touched, and we are only rushing 3 people and get outside heat from the left. So once again, not something you want to run all game long, but it is something to toss in every once in a while just to keep your opponent honest. So now you have a coverage defense that is truly dominant. You also have a A-gap or outside pressure from the right, and with this final wrinkle, you have the ability to bring a corner blitz from the left that when you mix everything in together is just going to be pure hell for your opponent to actually beat. For those of you that do not know the simple dime two-man under coverage defense, I'll go ahead. I'll show you that really quick. This is what a lot of people do. They do it on Saloon. They do it everywhere for the most part. See if I have a timeout. There we go. So with that being said, after this timeout, we'll go ahead and show you the coverage D. Most people will just mix up two-man under and cover 4. Two-man under is going to be simple. All you want to do is to press or baseline press. Most people will not baseline. They will just simply press. They will then put the D end on the right into a QB spy. They will adjust the safeties however they see fit. If there's not a face catch option on that side, they will put the corner into a purple or a flat. And then they will lurk the middle of the field over here with the with this defensive end. They will keep him blitzing down. That way your whole team will not get pancaked versus the run. And if they run, by shifting this linebacker to the left, you have the ability to simply shoot gaps versus the run game. So it is definitely something to mix in. Once you start getting your opponent to, pretty much start blocking people, if you do something like this and you start lurking, there's never going to be anybody really open. And the pressure on that alone is still very solid, as you see right there. You don't have a whole lot of time. So that is pretty much the dime scheme in a nutshell. And hope you guys enjoy. It's definitely something. This is a defense that you can truly stay in the entire game, no matter what your opponent is doing.